Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to my fifth video. I want to talk about the UAP recovery um, video on News Nation. The egg-shaped UAP that was recovered by the military, and I believe the whistleblower's name was Jake Barber. Um, I thought it was pretty interesting. I guess my whole thought on is, you know, I'm part of I follow the UFO community on Reddit, and you know, a lot of people were clowning the video and making jokes and because it does look like an egg, and uh, but I what I find interesting, is that this is I believe this is the first time I'm hearing of this, or at least video being released, on the news. I could be wrong. Maybe back in, you know, maybe there was a release before, but something of like this magnitude, actual military personnel, putting their when you go on live TV and talk about UAP, people automatically probably will presume you've lost a couple of screws. And but I think times have changed. I don't think people think these individuals are crazy anymore, like, or the stigma is no longer there compared to like the 80s, 90s, and even before that. But yeah, I don't know if the video is real, but I just find it interesting now that it's being more openly discussed, with the public. One of my theories is that and I think, right, I think now the US government's probably feeling some pressure, to reveal the existence of, NHI, non-human intelligence, and these UAP. I personally think, what better way to reveal it? You want to reveal it in steps, right? Whether that video is true or whether that was just, a container just holding who knows what. But I think, if you do want to reveal that NHI exists to the public, do it slowly, like the 20, I think 2017. Actually, I think when the Pentagon released those two videos, I don't know if that was actually in 2017. I think it was the news report might have been in 2017, but I don't recall even hearing about it until COVID in 2021. So I think it was like an old news article that never really reached the public, and then it was re-released in 2021, and now most of the public is hearing about it. So I kind of find it interesting, and that's up to the people reading the article, watching the video, for them to determine if that's NHI or it's just advanced craft made by the US, right, or foreign entity. But yeah, if you look at the way that those two videos were released, and then now this being released, I think my personal opinion is the government's allowing it. Yeah, I know the documentary is saying it's top secret, but I think it's their way of slowly, integrating this to the public. Probably in another few years, or you know, um, we might have a even better video, that was probably recorded back in 2002, right? I don't know when, I can't recall when that egg retrieval was done, you know. Um, but I'm pretty sure there's more. If it is, NHI, or they just can't explain what that was, I'm sure there's way more videos and whatnot. Um, Now, let's say the government isn't slowly releasing this out to the public. I guess, from the whistleblowers, standpoint is, people, being within vicinity of this, you know, UAP could have, long term health effects, or, or there's just too many unknowns, and, we need these effects to be studied. So, I think from that standpoint, from a safety and health standpoint, I could see why the whistleblowers are coming out. They also mentioned that, potentially, some of the staff, was potentially, you know, there were changes in the staff, and I guess the potential harm done to those working on, retrieving those craft and whatnot. So I found that interesting, to keep it silenced. That's also another reason I could see, definitely, whistleblowers coming out. Again, when it comes to, you know, unique things that could potentially change the world, right? Whether it be craft from here, or, it could be, I don't know, ancient craft that ancient humans built. Could be NHI, could be who knows what, but something that we're we're not capable of, developing yet, and we have our hands on it. That, um, who knows, right? Who really knows at what lengths people are willing to silence others. And it kind of just reminds me of, like, um in a way, if that were true, it's almost like, um just people that are, drug lords, drug kingpins, at what lengths they go to, um keep their business running, or, you know maintain and their territory. But anyway, I thought it was a good documentary. I think what lost me at the end, I think the guy Jake Barber said, they can just meditate and, summon these craft. I mean, that part is like, you know, for me, I don't need, I don't know if that's just a way to connect with, like, if they threw that in there to connect, bring a spiritual aspect to it, then I could see what they were trying to do, bring a spiritual and religious aspect to it. But I I highly doubt you can just meditate and, you know, if I were an NHI, I'm not gonna be flying around and be like, oh, you know, Jake is meditating. Let me he's meditating again. Let me go go around the corner and just say what's up. I mean, NHI probably don't even, like Dr. Michio Kaku said, we're just like squirrels to him, Um, or I mean, maybe we are more interesting than that to them, but they're not gonna cater to us. They're just gonna zoom on, pass on by. Same thing. what we would do if we were on a planet, exploring. We're not gonna, like, what? I'm not listening to these. Who the hell are these guys gonna tell me when and when I can't, show up? So I mean, but I've heard that remote viewing. There's from what I've read, there's no credible evidence, but it was an actual program um, in the I believe the CIA actually. Um, I can't recall from what year to when it started and when it. I don't know if it's still. I think it ended, but yeah, it was an actual program the CIA had. I don't know, you know, what they uncovered during, you know, I don't know if that information is released to the public, but, from what I've read, it's just there's no credible evidence and, a lot of the data is skewed. So, that part, I don't know. I think they just threw that in there just to, um, make a spiritual, aspect to it. I mean, there's, you know, I don't know. I don't really see a spiritual aspect to it. I mean, it would just be like us, we're exploring a planet, our craft gives out, whoever lives on that planet just happens to get lucky, or whoever's dominating that planet, now they got their hands on our technology. But yeah, I do, I think whether this video is true or not, it's still a breakthrough. You know, it I think it'll give, those who have seen, UAP, it gives them a stronger platform to stand on, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some really good photos out there, you know, that haven't been released. And, I do want to talk about like the UFO sighting and at the Chicago, I forgot what, I think it's called the O'Hare International Airport. That's a really interesting case. The Phoenix Lights. Some people said they saw like a football sized ship. So, that's um, pretty. But again, I think now, uh, more people are open to it, and you gotta. Again, I personally think we gotta release it slowly. Just ease it in there. Don't just. I mean, because a lot of people, they have their views, their beliefs, egos. Like I said, we all want to be the most intelligent, you know, but I mean, if you just look at, our satellites and how many stars are out there and how many galaxies are out there. I mean, you know space is vast. The universe is vast. And yeah, I mean, to think we're the only civilization out there is, um I could see, why people think that, because we haven't really encountered anything within our solar system. But again, here we are, people are, um, witnessing, craft that can do some amazing maneuverability. We have whistleblowers coming out. Um, and, you know, also want to touch base a little bit on Jeremy Corbell. I think he mentioned something that, the government is gonna. I don't know if they're gonna fake, or he was saying. I don't know if he was saying they're gonna fake an invasion in 2027, or he was saying that they're probably going to mention that a craft is going to show up in 2027. Um, Now I don't know. I mean, I understand these guys. you know, I still, admire what, Jeremy Corbell and Luis Elizondo and, just these guys, James Fox, all the research they do. But I understand they got to get paid too, So, I mean, hey, I can't knock them for that. But, I do find that interesting. Um, and me personally, if that is true, I think again, it kind of ties into the government, just kind of revealing that NHI exists, right? I think that might be you give people 2 years to think about it, um, adjust. Honestly, I don't think anything's gonna change, when we find out NHI are real. I mean, these sightings, at least in modern times, has been documented since what, Roswell, maybe even before that, 1947, all the way till now, so almost 77 years. And it's not just, the United States, it's the United Kingdom, you know, parts of South America, Mexico, India. I mean, these sightings are all over. A lot of people think it's just a phenomenon in the US, but I mean, it occurs everywhere, It's just we have, better I wouldn't say we have better data collection, but you know, we're more open about it, I think, versus other countries are probably not as open. So that's part of why they don't have as much data, right? But I'm pretty sure the phenomenon's, on almost on equal grounds, Um, but again, um, but again, yeah, I think it's a big step, forward. Um, I guess one more guy I do want to talk about, I think, is Dr. Stephen Greer. I was watching a good video, um, and it kind of goes back to the CE5 remote viewing. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't think a intelligent, you know, being again is going to. They're not going to give a damn. I mean, let's say I'm not gonna say he hasn't witnessed, UAP, but I think some of these guys are just, you know, trying to get money off of it. And hey, I can't knock them, but again, we got to be more realistic here. If NHI are here, they're not going to listen to an individual. And, if they are abducting humans and whatnot, I'm pretty sure they're, you know, doing tests, if just like the same way, I saw a whale documentary. I think you know, one of the marine biologists, sent a drone up, and I don't know if I think they put a tracker on the whale, or they were trying to measure how much oxygen the whale was taking in to get, a better grasp of the health of the whale. So, it could just be something like that, NHI is trying to just see what what is the health status of the human race, or I don't really know, but again, and not to say, there's not a spiritual aspect to it, but the whole meditating and summoning, these craft, I mean, nah, I don't buy it. But hey, anyway, it's just, it's another video for me. Like and subscribe.